On?
Hey man, it's your world. I'm just in it, man. You know what I mean? Today we talking about habits, but yo, look, obviously we go back a couple summers, and before we even get started, man, I just want to go in the archives. Is that all right?
That's perfectly fine. You could go
You know what I
straight.
mean? I was like, man, I was looking at it, and I was like, man, I said, I wonder do he remember this?
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see it.
First, I got.
I still remember that day like yesterday too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, us
I
being
told
out.
you I think about it every time every time I go down there, every time I ride past there, because I'm down there often.
hmm It was a good time, yo. I really had fun doing that, man. It was genuine love.
I don't know if we can hear it.
Let's
It
see.
may.
Dang, May 21st of 2019.
Yo, we was out there, bruh. It may not even play.
I'm gonna take this off. Make sure they can hear you
Can you hear it?
a little bit. I can hear it a little bit.
Maybe I was supposed to mute.
Yeah, I can hear it a little bit. Everybody that's on this live, if you can, make sure y'all tune in to Facebook. Follow Brother L. We're going live on Facebook.
I
You know,
just fast forwarded a little bit.
you know why we can't hear your headphones in?
Yeah, they are.
If you
Take
unplug
them
it.
out.
That was a long time ago, man. 2 years ago. And it was hot that day. Wow. Make sure y'all tune in on Facebook. Follow Brother O. Yo, man, you crazy. Brother O, I can't hear you. You hear me, Brother O? I can't hear you. Go on Facebook. Make sure y'all follow Brother O. He's going live on Facebook stream so you can see both of us. You'll be able to hear both of us on the Instagram live. Can't hear you. Nope. Did you gotta plug your headphones back in or?
What happened was I was mute when we played the video, so it muted.
Okay. All right. I mean,
But I think when I unplugged it, I came back because you can hear me now, right?
yep, I definitely can hear you.
But yo, we did another video, right? I was going to pull it up, but we'll pull it up a little later. But yo, so we talking about habits, man. So how you, man?
I'm doing good, man. I mean, just sit here, just got off work, tuned in with you. I'm ready to talk about your video. Whatever questions you got, I'm all in. But I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Well, I guess if anything, before we even get started, my thing is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word habits? You know what I mean? Like, what comes to your mind? Because obviously we know there are good habits and there are bad habits. You know what I mean?
Right.
So just habits in general, like what's your mental space with that?
When I think of habits, I just literally think about doing something over and over again until it's like secondhand nature, right? Until it's something that you do and you're not even thinking about it. So, for example, I'm gonna give you a quick little story. Like back in the day, I couldn't talk for nothing. Like I couldn't complete a sentence.
Really?
said, yes, everything I
Like
said.
a speech impediment or like nervousness, mental health? Like what's that?
No, not a speech impediment. More so like, just talking in slang. Just like, yo, what's up? Like, yo, dog, slurring words, that type of thing, because that's what I grew up in. And I was like, my dad always, he forced me to go to college. He was like, yo, Chris, you should go to college. I'm like, man, I ain't going to college. But I went to college and I thought about what I could have proven, and then that would be my major. So I said, man, I could have proven in speaking because I have a lot of thoughts in my mind, but I don't know how to articulate them.
Wow, really?
Yeah. Yeah. So I went to college, studied communications, and I started speaking, and I got really good at it. So it became a habit.
So you got a degree in communications?
Yep, I got 2 degrees in communication, one in speech communications, the second one in organizational professional communication and development, which I got at Ball State University up in Indiana, 10 hours away, man. That's a hike.
Wow. So you was insecure in high school as far as speaking and everything. Then you had nerve to go to college. Yeah. 2 degrees in something you was insecure in. It's amazing, man. You said all that, but you know what I heard? I heard fatherhood. And I think it's just so important for a man to speak life in his son or his daughter, because here's a guy who was insecure. Dude, you stretched yourself just on behalf of the word from your dad, man. Yo, if you wouldn't have listened to your dad, what would you have done?
Honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say I was in the streets all crazy, but I was hanging around, not the best of influences. And maybe I would have trickled into the streets, or maybe I would have went to the army. You know what I'm saying? But since my dad believed in me so much, and you know what I'm saying, my mom did too. I'm not going to get it twisted, but my dad was like pushing me to go to college when I was like, you know what? I don't even think I could get accepted. So yeah, I'd probably be doing something. I don't know what I would be doing.
Yo,
but I know.
What's crazy is, have you ever went back to your dad and was like, yo, dad, thank you?
All the time.
Really? That's what's up, man.
All the time.
That's what's up. And, talking about habits is almost like you already had a habit of hearing your dad. Some cats ain't even on that. Man, I ain't listen to my dad. Like, you already was in that rhythm. You were already in that flow. And man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up, because you broke that habit and now you speak.
Right. I was stuck in having a habit of not being able to be able to speak my mind. Then I went to school and developed the habit of speaking, and now I can't stop talking. They just like, shut up. You know what I'm saying?
So how you come up with that habit of go get it game, man? How you get that, man? Where that came from?
So I was sitting down, man, back in college, it's probably 3-4 years ago. And I was just thinking about what I wanted for myself. I always said I wanted to be a motivational speaker. I always said I wanted to teach people lessons. So one thing that I always said,
this was in high school or in college? Because in high school you ain't speak.
It was in grad school.
Grad school, okay.
In grad school. But this is a phrase I always used to say. We playing to go get a game. We going to go get it, like that type of thing. And ever since then, I just stuck with it. Like, we playing to go get a game. I'm gonna become a motivational speaker. I'm gonna help people. I'm gonna be a mentor. We playing to go get a game, baby. We getting what we deserve. You feel me? So that's what type of time I've been on ever since.
What how beneficial is that habit to speak over yourself, to confess certain things? Why is that a good habit?
I feel like it's a good habit because then it's therapeutic. You know what I'm saying? Being able to speak good into the world, being able to prove yourself wrong and do better than all of the negative thoughts that matriculate your mind. So it's just like being able to be a good speaker and talk to yourself, even when people tell you that you're not this, even when you doubt yourself, is therapeutic in itself, man. Like, it's prosperous. That's how I view it.
It's lonely at times too, because other people's voices are louder than your own voice. And what you're doing is, you don't want to have like no pseudo arrogance, like I told you so. But in the same sense, if you don't stay true to you, you'll fall for them. they'll become like a small god, and you'll never discover what's really in you because you was listening to that outside noise. And a lot of people think that's weird, but there's a book out there that says, I forgot the title, something like, what do you say to yourself when you talk to yourself? Stuff like that. I forgot how the title go, but people think, talking to yourself, something wrong with you. No, that's a good habit if you're confessing the right things. You know what I mean?
Right. And it's funny you say that, because growing up, I used to talk to myself mentally.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
Like, a strong black man, but I would say negative stuff. Like, yo, you better not be acting like a punk. Like, you better go hard. Or sometimes, like, you can't do this as a sign of motivation. But in all actuality, right. I wasn't motivating myself. I was suppressing myself. I was pushing myself down. And that's been a difficult transition to remove that hood mentality, those negative thoughts in my mind, and tell myself goodness, you know what I'm saying, so I can reach greater heights. That was a great thing that you brought up.
I mean, other than your dad being influential to you to get to where you're at, like, who's some other voices that you listen to? And we're still on habits. But what other?
Like, you talking about motivational speakers?
Yeah.
Or you talking about?
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously dad was influential, but what are some other people who you have a habit of just listening to often?
I like E.T.
Oh, yeah? The hip-hop preacher?
Yeah, the hip-hop preacher. He has so much conviction in his voice.
You ever seen him live?
No, I never seen him live. And I was supposed to go see him live one time.
He came to Philly a couple years ago.
Yeah, he came. I think I was going to see him in Millersville, though. But he came, but I never went to go see him. I forget what was going on in my life, but I didn't go see him. But I like E.T. I think he's solid. But honestly, I get most of my like motivation from people that's close to me. Like my man Kyle, he was speaking life to me. Like anytime I talk to my man Sal or Tariq, my man Sam Brown, he got faith and effort. You just spoke life into me the other day.
You know what I'm saying? Man, hey man,
at home, like
you're gonna make me blush on the live, bro. You know what I mean?
But mainly like E.T., Les Brown.
Yo, Les Brown's still at it, man. Les Brown like 76, 75. He up there.
He old.
Yo, he up there still, man. I'm beginning to think that the word retirement is a curse word. I don't even know if we should retire. If you can go, keep going.
You can't retire as a speaker, man. They need you know what I'm saying? And his son is taking his business over in a sense. I mean, he learning so much from his father, and he's creating his own businesses. He's probably gonna be the next Les Brown. I mean, I think his name is actually Les Brown, but he's gonna be big time.
Yeah, I never heard of Les Brown's son. Maybe because Les Brown, he still go live and everything.
Who? Oh, his son, right?
No, Les Brown, the dad. Like I ain't know he had a son. I know he got a couple daughters, but I ain't know he had a son.
He got a son. He looked just like him.
Oh yeah, mm-hmm. Les Brown Jr.
I think that's his actual name. It may be, or he gave him a nickname or something. But he's a speaker as well. He's pretty good.
Well, talk to me about the episode habits, man. Talk to me, man.
I'm glad, man. I got my note right here. My book. One of my friends gave me this. I've had this for years. But I just like, there's a few things that you said. But the first one I want to hit is the best habit is to be process driven. And I feel like we often overlook the process, but we just say do. But if you don't have no strategy, if you have no steps in place, you really can't get to where you want to be. And I know I've struggled with it. We all struggle with it. We try to find a perfect process and then be like, oh, well, it's been a year. It's been 2 years. This process is not working. I've been doing lessons learned for 3 years. Oh, like it was booming in the beginning, but what process do I have in place to keep it going? And I thought that was hot, like habit has to be process driven, man.
Yeah, because the society teaches us that everything has to be results. And it's like, if I was to ask you this question, what food tastes better, food out of a microwave or food out of a crock pot? What would you say?
I would say food out of the crock pot.
You know what I mean? And I think we live in like this microwave generation where everything snap, snap, snap. It's like, no, let that thing marinate. Let it sit, you know? And you gotta be process driven. And then the result will sneak up on you, and it's the best result. You know what I mean? It's the best result.
I feel like, a lot of people overlook that. We are in a time where, we're undergoing a microwave mentality, right? Where, I always use this analogy. It's like we grab a slice of pizza, you know what I mean? We throw it in the microwave and we expect it to be done in like 10 seconds or whatever. You know what I mean? Put that pizza in there. We're going to get all cheese and give it about a minute or so. But we want everything to be done so quickly. You can't throw a piece of chicken up in the microwave and microwave it for 10 minutes and expect it to be done. You know what I'm saying? And that's how we got to think about our processes. I thought lessons learned was going to be going in 1 year. Now I'm going on 3.
Yeah, I started in 2017 also. Well, when did you start? 18 or 17?
I started speaking, like doing like little speeches online at November 2017. I started in January 2018 in Muncie, Indiana.
Yeah, I started making little videos. I want to say the September. In fact, I think it was September 29th, 2017. Mm-hmm. And I just write, speak, voice record and things like that. And it's become a hobby. I loved it. My lady loved it. And it was never about the followers. As you can see, I ain't got tons and tons of followers. I'm not even making no money. You know what I mean? I don't do it for the money. So if the money come in, I feel like, man, this is criminal. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it's funny because people are in this space making money, and I'll be like, man, you ain't even nice, but people pay for it. You feel me?
Right.
I listen to ET too, but what's crazy, how I fell in love with ET wasn't even of his speeches. I was listening to an interview with him, and he was all about because his testimony, he was homeless, things of that nature. But what blessed me was he started making some money, and he got a little older, and he just was like, what he's seeing in the African American community is lack of exposure. And he said he ended up spending, I'll never forget, he said he spent $280,000 to send like 15 kids to Disney. Unfortunate families that can't afford it, put them in the best Disney thing and stuff like the hotel, parks, food. Like, I never been to Disney, but he gave them the whole first class just to put them in, expose them to outside of the inner city. And that just touched me because when I look at my life, it was exposure that made me scratch my head like, man, I should exercise discipline. I should go to school. I should pick up a trade. I should, you know what I mean? But because coming from where I come from, wasn't nobody really doing nothing. Nobody was really after nothing. But when you get exposed, man, all them young kids was down in Florida, and they was looking around, seeing other people communicating differently. Man, that did something to him, and that touched me. You know what I mean? And then I just started listening to him. And I was like, man, I wonder, what would happen if I run into a bunch of money? I'll do the same thing. I see if I can find somebody and just expose them, because that'll change their life. A lot of times, you don't really need money. You need exposure. You need a word from God. So that in fact, you probably need that first. But exposure and a word from God, you can really, that's your whole life right there. You can cash it on life, 50, 60, 70, 80 years. And I appreciate ET for doing that.
And that's the thing, man. Like, speakers like us, I don't know if it's many. I got to meet more, speakers. But usually, you want to be a speaker with a big heart, right? You want to make an impact. Everybody be like, oh, he's just talking for money. Oh, he's just selling clothes for money. But I want to impact people that don't believe in their potential or their capabilities. You know what I'm saying? And if I have some money, I want to give it back. Just like the people, like my grandma or a random friend of mine giving me money to support my business and want me to do better. Like, I want to give back to the community. You know what I mean? It's not all about talking, but that's what we have right now. That's the gift that we have right now. And that's all we can give. But when we get that money, we know we're going to be giving out more blessings than people can even really think about.
Yeah. Why do you think that people are more result driven and process driven? Like, why you think that?
They want that. They want what they want. They want their reward. They want their outcome. They want to win. We're taught to win. Winning is a result. I mean, losing is a result as well. But what's the better result? Is winning, right? So, people want to skip the process and they want to get to the destiny. They want to get to where they always wanted to be. Like, do I want to go through all of the grunt work of being a speaker? No, but that's the process. I really want the result. I want to be a world-renowned speaker, make great money, make an ultimate impact to the world. That's going to be my end goal. That's going to be my result. But I gotta fix the process first.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because it's almost like in America, I don't want to say we don't believe in hard work, but hard work ain't sexy. The sacrifice, the grind, the setback, and all like that. It's almost like if somebody's in the real estate or someone's in a small business, we'll jump on a wave and then take selfies like, yeah, I'm grinding. But no, go in that dark spot, grind 10 years, 20 years, and stuff like build something. That ain't sexy. I'd rather just hop on the latest train so I could get there, you know what I mean, and make moves. But sometimes, man, I don't know. I think hard work is kind of like, I don't know. I think we're losing it. I think it's lost. I think sacrifice, dedication, hard work, and perseverance. I think that's kind of like, people perceive that, oh man, I'm losing. And it's like, who you living for? That's my main question. Like, who are you living for?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like hard work is something that's being overlooked because of social media and all the technological advances. You know what I'm saying? I could get on Instagram right now and become a motivation speaker. All I gotta do is talk. You know what I'm saying? I could be a business owner right now. I could create some online presence and people can just buy shirts. And I'm starting to learn that more and more as I get older, that I don't really care about social media. Social media helps me. I can make a lot of money by just posting 10 shirts on my Instagram. I can get a sale right then and there. But the thing is that it'll mean more to me if I'm really on the ground, like running, right? Talking to people, interacting. So as soon as the pandemic calms down, I'm going to do more of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I need that. So when times do get tough, when times do get really hard, I don't know how to deal with it, man. I can't just lean on social media, for my success.
What kind of habits you developed in this pandemic? Because this has been a culture shock to all of us. Like what, I'm sure we all have to move different. What kind of habits you developed then? Since then, you figure when you want to say we got locked down, what was it? February, March of last year?
Early March.
Yeah. Like, how's your life been since last March, man?
It's been different. I'm more of, a lot of people don't know, I can be real social, but I'm more of an introvert. So, like the world shut down, it's like, dang, man, I get a peace of mind. I get to really think. I think one of the things that I really learned.
I wouldn't have never guessed you to be an introvert. I've been around introverts, but man, you always on 10 every time I talk to you.
But you got to think about it. This is a habit.
Right. Okay.
I led organizations on campus at Millersville, Ball State, going in the job, being able to have to socialize, being a teacher. But remember, I didn't start speaking until I went to college, and I developed that trait, so I never really talked. You know what I'm saying? But one of the habits that I really learned during the pandemic, it's gonna sound crazy, is doing. A lot of people be like, "Damn, he be doing a lot. He's selling shirts. He make videos all the time. He make quotes. He's really thought. I just gotta be so hard." Yeah, that's difficult. But what about the back end? What about the business aspect of Lessons Learned? So I got my LLC. It's no longer Lessons Learned. It's going to be Mr. Lessons Learned. I'm currently rebranding. I'm trying to get a new website. I'm about to drop an ebook that I'm going to sell for $5 just to gauge people, to gauge my audience, to see what they like. So I'm doing now. I'm no longer.
You got a target audience?
No. And this is why. A lot of people assume my target audience to be adolescents, young people, but I speak from the heart, and I feel like whoever can engage with that, you're my audience. I speak to everybody. You know what I'm saying? I spoke at elementary schools. I spoke at companies. So, I mean, I don't limit myself, but I do need to develop my own target audience.
What's the book about? What's the ebook about?
So the ebook is called Free Me. All right. And Free Me is an acronym. So when you buy the book, it's going to be a poem for each letter. So F is going to be for Free Me. R is going to be for realization. E for escape, and so forth, so forth. And what it talks about is going back to that thing called doing. What it talks about is basically being able to free myself from a mental jail, right? From a mental panopticon. That's what I call it in the poem. I mean, in the book. And I'm no longer a slave to my thoughts, and I'm breaking out. That's what it's really about.
Yeah, I think a lot of us have developed some bad habits that gave us cage thinking. You know what I mean? It was a guy who actually wrote a book on that, and he had a cage on his head with a lock on, and I think the white man had the key. You know what I mean? I think it was Carter G. Woodson. You know, and it's interesting because that cage thinking is real, and it really can get exposed when you get around some people who think outside the box. You know, because and if you don't understand it, you'll despise it. You ever been in a group of people where if someone don't understand something, they'll say something slick, or like try to like diminish what
Right.
what you're trying to come across because they don't understand it and they don't have the courage, the courage of their conviction to be like, hey man, I heard you say so and so. What you mean by that? They'll just be like, oh man, get out of here. And it's just like, yep, you cage. As soon as you hear something that go against your little pea brain, now all of a sudden I'm the enemy. You know what I mean?
You know what that is, though? I mean,
Nah, what's that? I don't know. I really don't know what it is, but I've been around some people who are not intrinsic thinkers, and they kind of downplay because their IQ is a little, I guess, lower.
Little shot. I think that's a form of self-hate.
You think so?
I think that's lack of confidence in oneself, and they're reflecting that on other people. If you feel like you can't write a book, and you feel like, so you like, man, I don't really think he might be able to write a book, but I don't really think he can. So yeah, you shouldn't write a book. You're not that smart. You're not Albert Einstein. You're not Maya Angelou. Like, it's like that type of thing. And it's a form of self-hate because they don't believe in themselves and their abilities, and they don't want to see you flourish as well. You know what I'm saying? So that's personally what I think. Is that the truth? I don't know. Maybe you're just a hater.
Well, what's interesting about that is from their view, they don't perceive that they being a hater.
That's true. I mean, some people are just brutally honest. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Some people are just critiquing you. And you need to, as an adult, you got to be able to, decipher that, what's going on. However, if you're going to say something negative, you have to have an explanation behind it. If you don't have no explanation, no reason, you're a hater. That's how I view it. You're a stone cold hater if you can't explain why you think I can't do this or why I would be bad at this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think it's tough. It's tough because it's almost like pseudo jealousy, almost. Because number one, I ain't even ask you for your view, So, for someone to say what you it's a number of things, but who knows? I mean, obviously, that's a bad habit that one has developed. You know what I mean?
Hating is definitely a habit. You just don't wake up and start hating. Like, you built that hate over time. Like,
yeah, man. Man. But what else you get out of it, man?
So right to the book. I feel like you brought up the storms, and
talk to me about that.
It's a great metaphor to talk about hardships, right? And you said some storms last because of bad habits. And it's so funny because we can think about a lot of things. We could talk about alcohol. We could talk about smoking.
Any addiction.
Gambling. Any addiction. And a lot of people don't understand that those addictions are storms.
You think so, though? You think an addiction is a storm?
I feel like yes. I feel like an addiction can be a storm.
So what you're saying is to get out of an addiction is what? Exercise discipline?
I wouldn't say. Well, you
cold turkey, refrain. You see what I mean? I think an addiction is a storm if you can turn it off. But some people are enslaved. like for example, like there's somebody out there that smoke weed every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like just smoke. That ain't no storm, bruh. You know what I mean?
What do you call it?
It's I think that's just well, no, well, let's back up. Is a storm
Mm.
the result of you lacking discipline? Because in order to remove an addiction, it takes discipline.
It does.
That's one of the principles. You know what I mean? That's one of the principles. Like you can't get out of an addiction without discipline. And it could be marijuana, it could be lust, it could be porn. You gotta set up some type of boundary and stuff like that.
So my question is, what do you do when it's a storm outside?
Get an umbrella, rain jacket, cut the windshield wipers on.
What if the storm is too crazy? What are you gonna do?
Pull over.
You're gonna pull over, like you said, you're gonna get in your car. When I think of a storm happening, I'm going inside the house. And what I'm trying to say is like the reason why I say alcohol, weed, and stuff like that could be a storm because it may be an everlasting storm that they just don't want to get out of. You know what I'm saying? I think
which is the result of lack of discipline. If you don't want to get out, that can't be a storm. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't want it, like, nah, I'm, you know, I don't want to wear deodorant. I don't want to. That ain't no storm.
Right.
You know, you're just gonna be, you're gonna be smelling like,
right?
Like that ain't no storm.
Do you think they want to be addicted to that though? Like, yeah, you enjoy it, you love it, but when you're deteriorating, you think you want to.
Well, that's the thing. It's hard to see in the storm too, bruh. Sometimes you could be an alcoholic. I mean, you can lose your wife, you can lose your kid, you can lose a lot of stuff, but you still yearn for that crack, that snort, that weed. You can lose your job, but you still, if you're in it, you don't even know you have a problem. You know what I mean? Even though you losing everything left and right, but you still have that urge. That's what arrests you. You know what I mean? So you got to say, hold up. Everything is falling beside me. I need to look in the mirror. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And there are people who don't have a job and they scratching their head like, man, I can't believe they let me go. Dog, really? There's some people who are divorced and they're like, man, I can't believe I'm divorced. It's like, really, bruh?
Right.
Like if you're in, like, if you don't make certain adjustments, it's inevitable. Like, it's inevitable. But for me, far as the episode, storms are to help to develop a nice, some resilience, some resistance training, some muscle memory, like the gentleman talked. Like you gotta, they to help you, but some storms have torn people down. You know what I mean?
Right. Some storms they broke a lot of people.
Like for me, I tried smoking a cigarette before, it didn't grab me. I tried smoking marijuana before, it never grabbed me. I drank alcohol more than a few times, but it never made me want to drink every day or become an alcoholic. You see what I mean? Now, I don't have that kind of testimony where I'm like, yo, I used to be a pothead. Like that wasn't a storm. Like I smoked weed before, but it wasn't, you know what I mean? And it wasn't even like I wanted to do it. It was just peer pressure. I was a follower, things of that nature. You know what I mean? But there are some recovering alcoholics where, they had to put the work in. And if they don't put the work in, it's almost like you inviting a storm. And I think a lot of us, we know what's our sweet spot. And we know, like, we ain't got no business going over there. You know what I mean?
We do.
Yeah, we know our limitations. Like, oh, I'm strong. Nah, you ain't strong. Don't even do it.
Right. I've done things like that. And
you know what I mean?
Got caught up, and thank God that I was able to get out of situations like that. But it's crazy. That's deep.
Like I remember like for example, in Atlantic City, they got a casino called the Tropicana, right?
Yeah.
like if you had a gambling addiction, like you playing yourself, like let's say you had a gambling addiction, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you went, I don't know, 18 months, you ain't even been gambling, you've been delivered.
Yeah.
I would, and Chris, I wouldn't even say, yo, you trying to go out to dinner, at the Red Square in the Tropicana. That'll put you too close. You see what I mean? And you may say, yeah, you know what? I ain't gambling about 18 months. We can go have dinner in the Tropicana. Because, in the Tropicana, they got like a few restaurants in there. They got a few restaurants. And it's like all the restaurants, why we going to go there? Now we in there eating. You be like, you know what, man? A $10 slot wouldn't hurt.
Right.
And then all of a sudden,
the penny was real quick.
Right. And then, but the thing is, let's say you do the $10, right? And we get out of here. We drive back to Philly. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? 2 days, like, you know what? I only did $10. Let me drive again. Let me go. You got to know your limitations. Like, I wouldn't even put you in that position. And I think sometimes some people be like, you know what? I could go to the bar. I'm gonna just get me an orange juice. And it's like,
right.
You can invite the storms. You can, whether it's porn, whether it's cheating, whether it's like, I've been there, I've done that. Like, don't, get out of there, run.
And I guess that goes back to habits. It's like, how can we create habits to not, invite the storms? But, that's really deep because, at the end of the day, we're all humans. We're all sinful creatures, and we all want to create, habits that are good, right? That are long lasting, that are forever. But that's the challenge. It's just hard to do. And that's where, we come into play, and we try to live our lives by developing great habits to inspire others.
Well, I think ultimately too, we don't trust often. And what I mean by that I can have like 3 or 4 personal things about me that you would never know about Chris. You know why? Because if I tell you about it, then that gives you the right to call me on a carpet about certain things.
Mm-hmm.
So it's almost like I let you into a secret area of my life, which means you can call me and talk about that, and I may not want to talk about it. So whenever you call me, I'm like, oh man, lessons learned. He gonna hit me, but that's how you prevent the storms from coming, by having people who care about you talking to you about that stuff. But it's just like, we're afraid to have these hard conversations. So it's just certain things can be prevented. Can you lose trust? Yeah. Can some people do you wrong? Yeah. But in the same sense, like, you need help in this walk, and it's easy for a storm to come because we live in isolation so much. We know how to wear the mask. We know how to suffer in silence to the degree it be so many storms going on. Then you be like, man, what happened to brother? Oh, they be like, man, yeah, he jumped off the Ben Franklin. They be like, what? I just did a live with him. You just never know.
But you're right about the hard conversation thing. Like, even as a speaker, like, I try to like drive away from hard conversation, because we live in a time where everybody's overly sensitive, everybody's overly opinionated, and I'd rather not indulge in that, because no matter what I say, it may not really affect, like, it may not affect somebody. They may not really care. And I don't need to speak on everything, especially if I'm not educated on it. I'm not speaking on that. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I struggle with. It's funny you say that, hard having these hard conversations. But if we have more hard conversations with people, we're more likely to save more lives. I'm not saying that we gonna save them, but just by having a conversation about something that young boy from down the street, he doing dirt. He doing dirt. If you sit down, just have a little conversation with him, say, yo, bro, like, this ain't the life you want to live. This ain't the trek you want to go.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That could really save lives. So we got to build habits that can save people as well. And I want to everybody on my live right now. Got a couple people on here. Lessons learned. I see y'all showing love. Plugged in company, Jet Lee, all y'all. Love y'all. Tune in live.
They watching it.
Go ahead, brother. My bad.
They tuned in.
They tuned in, man.
Okay, well, let's give them something then. Let's give them something. Let me see. Let's give them something then.
All right.
Let's give him something. Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. You think the volume won't work this time? Let's see if it's gonna work. Also creating a safe space for people in addition to trust, for sure. For sure. What's the difference between wanting to be a billionaire and needing to be a billionaire? That's a tough one. Tell me when you're ready. You ready? I can't hear the volume. If we could get that volume, it would be great. Make sure y'all check out Habits by Brother O on YouTube as well. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about habits right now, but it's based off the video.
Do it yet, bro.
What happened?
I gotta learn. I gotta play with it. I'm still trying to learn this, John. You know what I mean? You can hear me though, right?
Listen, man, it is. Huh?
You know, you can hear me, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
go ahead.
No, what I was saying was, I was on a whole storm thing. I was trying to cut it to that, but I'll play with it sometime. I'll play with it. I'm liking this engagement though, because I think that we become so weak. We become so afraid to talk about the hard things that when something really minute happen, it just rocks people cradle, and it's like, yo, like, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? And some people just panic over, you know what I mean? It's like we have no muscle memory.
Yeah, I mean, like I just really think it goes back to that, that thing where everybody's just, overly sensitive. Like my parents, man, they groomed me to like deal with the worst of the worst. Sometimes I don't handle the worst of the worst the best way I can, but they taught me how to be like, yo, take the lessons out of it, right? Learn from that situation, lessons learned, whatever. But that's what they taught me growing up. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, they can't take hurt. They can't take those or have those critical conversations that's going to help them be stronger or go through storms. I've been through some BS that nobody knows that will break anybody. But I woke up every day and I just kept pushing. Like,
but what happened to us though?
What you mean?
Like, why we become soft? Like, what happened? Like, does something shift? Like, you know what I mean?
Social media, man.
You think so? Technology demoted us. It took our backbone. Would it make life seem a little easier?
Yeah, I mean, think about all of the agendas that are put on to these platforms, whether it be depression, whether it be overly nice, which is nothing wrong with, but we start to lose our authenticity when we take in all of this information. And I'm even a culprit of it. Like, you ever walk down the street and somebody say, yo, dog, like, yo, why you talking like that now? Like, why you talking like, why you acting like that?
Wow.
Yo, why you dressing like that?
Wow.
And it's because I feel like it's a lot to do with the information that we take in, that now we have this freedom to do whatever we want. But then again, like, social media still takes like that authenticity from people. I really can't explain it, and I'm gonna have to write like some type of essay about this or something, but I feel like it's so many things that changes us and we don't take it into account. And people be trying so hard to be real.
You think Caucasians go through it, or you just primarily talking about our community?
I'm talking about, I think everybody goes through it. However, when you think about Caucasians, they have a different level of understanding. They know how to learn a certain way. They got strategies and stuff, things that I honestly think that they withhold from every other community. So it may be a little different for them, because there's a lot of people I know that don't even have social media, don't have Instagram, or they using it for a business, but in a way that a lot of people in the Black community don't use it.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. Yeah.
So
wow. I
It's heavy.
We did. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad because I don't think it was created for this, or maybe it has. It's, you know what I mean? What you think? Like,
I think social media is created to make money.
do
That's
you
all.
think? How can I say this? Do you think it's more abused, like used in the wrong way than in a positive way?
Yes, social
Okay.
media is used in each and every way. I know, for instance, I even went down this road. Like sometimes I just post just to be like, like I'm alive, like I'm here, I'm doing well. And in all actuality, I'm not. Or people post drama on here. And some people are ignorant enough to take that drama, internalize it, and reflect it in real life. Like
Yeah.
people don't understand that the power that they have with these cell phones. And me saying this, people gonna look at me like, oh no, you're being sensitive, like you're being crazy. But it's somebody out here that you really, really affecting with this tool that you got, and you don't even know how to use it. So I try to, for the most part, I try to refrain from negativity. Like, yeah, I play around, you know what I'm saying, here and there, but at the end of the day, I think it's used for negative reasons more than positive. People be
Yeah. So it's like what you're saying is, even though people are grown, I only heard this from teenagers and little kids, but cyberbullying is like grown-ups getting cyberbullied, huh? And even grandparents, senior citizens. Like if you put a lot of emotions into this social media,
mm-hmm.
endemic, like you can really cyberbullying. You can be 49 years old, still in your feelings about something that you saw, like, it's like, because I thought cyberbullying was like for teenagers. Like, how do you, why do you give so much energy to it? It's almost like it's something in these phones or these tablets that trigger with our brain and our heart. Like it's almost like an addiction, like a bad habit, bruh. Where we put a lot of energy in it and it's affecting a lot of people because I don't know if it's true. Obviously, I heard of cyberbullying, but if somebody was to commit suicide because of social media, that's bad, bruh.
It's true though, and somebody brought up something great in here. The growth of technology changed us. Instant gratification. We were just talking about that. But technology has more effect on younger people because they don't know any better. Like we grew up without technology, so we know how to deal with somebody cyberbullying us. But if a little kid gets on his social media or Instagram, whatever, that's all they know. So they're more likely to kill themselves. Now, at this same extent, this is going to be even crazier 10 years down from now. Depression is going to be at a high.
Yeah. It's like it ain't getting better.
It's not. You're focused on what somebody else is doing and you're glorifying it. You see somebody wearing Balenciagas and a Gucci belt and you're like, dang, how they getting that money to do that? Why can't I be like them? This. Boom. You ready to kill yourself over something so dumb, but social media amplifies everything.
Yeah, but my thing is, all right, we agree. That's a bad habit because why are you letting it consume you? That's all. It's like, why are you letting that consume you? Some type of addiction, some type of bad habit happen where it's just like, yo, this is the truth. This is the way. This is the life. And it is really a fallacy.
It is.
You know what I mean? Because if somebody really went on social media and talked about what was really going on, they'd be like, yo, why he tripping? Why would he post something like that? Why would you put? And it's like, oh, like the real stuff, cats would be like, oh man, why would you even,
right.
But when you putting up, when everything's looking good, it's like, okay, like. And it's like, it's just weird that people try to protect, like, yo, you shouldn't be posting stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like,
we're confused.
It's a bad habit, man.
You know what I noticed though, which is crazy, is that because of social media, people no longer depend on facts. People no longer really care about creating the best of the best. And they're more so focused on just putting stuff out there because now you have a voice and people are going to gauge. Like, I'm going to give you an example. I got 2,000 followers, right? I can literally say anything. I can do whatever, write something or whatever. And I could have a great audience. And my work may not even be that great. You know what I'm saying? So we're moving into a time where you just do what you do. You do it with emotion and people may respect it. Back then you couldn't do that. You would have to write a book right? I don't know. This is by Bell Hooks. Write a Bell Hooks book. People won't respect this because she's highly educated. But now people can just do whatever they want, and it's all based off emotion, yo. Like, it's crazy. I can't. It's so hard, yo, to explain. But times are changing.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I don't. The gist of this conversation is that's a bad habit. Basically, that's just a bad habit, and I think is kind of weird what I'm about to say, but bad habits when it comes to social media is like the new wave. I mean, this whole TikTok thing, you know, by me having daughters, you know, I just never knew that so many of our women, African American women, are willing to just put themselves out like that, like just erotic. You know what I mean? Just like, wow, like you're somebody's girlfriend, somebody's wife, somebody's mom. You know what I mean? And you're like exhibiting yourself like I guess I don't know, like it's a competition, and it's just like then when a dude do you dirty, you wonder, and it's like, well, look what you showing us. What you expect me to do? you know what I mean? Look what you giving off. You know what I mean?
It's not about morals no more.
Nah, it's just unfortunate.
And I can't really speak on. I really can't speak on women, but in general, it's about that money. It's coming.
Yeah. People money. Getting paid. Yeah, they getting
doing that. Like it's so accessible, so easy. People like forget it. Like if everybody likes it, I'm gonna do it. If I can get paid for it, I'm gonna do it. Yada yada yada. And once again, it's because of social media. But this is where we come in, though. This is where we come in with social media. All of that negativity that's being put out, we slapping it with positivity, man.
Right.
We're slapping it with truth, our truth, and we basing it off of facts. And we got opinions mixed in because we don't want to mislead anybody or steer them wrong. And that's the only way we're going to combat this social media thing is with but pure positivity.
Yeah, especially, I mean, the 4 years we went through, you know, with our previous president. I mean, you talk about bad habits. I mean, it was almost like, I mean, cops killing unarmed black men. It was just a lot of habits going around where we like, yo, something got to give. Mm-hmm. And then it was another bad habit, Bow. We watch George Floyd life leave his body on TV.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's a bad, I mean, everything's on camera to the degree where it's just like, wow, the system, the habit of the system is like, I mean, I guess the dude got locked up or whatever, I guess. But in the same sense, it was like, it's just, I don't put an expectation of the world. But my thing is, it's like, I guess wrong isn't wrong anymore. You know what I mean? It just seemed like, yeah.
I'm not going to say that. What I'm going to say is, I get what you're saying, but I think it's more so we're more able to accept being wrong. We're more able to accept negativity.
I got you. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? We're so accustomed to it. We're numb to it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, okay, it happens. You know what? This is where the world is going to. And it's sad because I feel like nobody can stop it. Only person that can stop it is God.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna stop it. It's only gonna get worse. It's only gonna get worse. But we can't.
That's what I'm afraid of, though. What you just said is that because that's a bad habit, becoming numb. When that they said a guy, I don't know if he had like a learning disability over there in Philly, and he had a knife in his hand, and them cops unloaded on him, bro. And I was just saying to myself, like, wow, y'all couldn't hit him in a foot, hit him in a leg. Dude, it was like 20-something shots. Like, I mean, I think it was over 20. I think.
But you know, officers are trained to shoot in the chest. Like, yeah, you're shooting in the chest. Chest is the easiest way to die. A bullet to the chest is the easiest way to die. So they're aimed to kill anyway. It's just sad because.
Well, I'm numb to it. I was numb. See, I like if 2 shots, all right, cool. Mm-hmm. But when I heard how many shots went off, one guy that was feet away, like I don't know how far away, like you don't need to. That was a lot. But if you're saying they trained to kill, you got to empty the clip. That's different. I ain't never been to police academy and stuff like that. But it was just like, come on, man.
I don't agree with that. They should never empty the clip. They should never want to kill somebody. But that's what you see from these officers. You see when they shoot, they want to kill regardless. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because we shouldn't have to live in a scared way. We shouldn't even, I don't know, man. Black people, I feel like our community sometimes is like we want to stand up for our rights. And sometimes because we standing up for our rights at that moment, we giving them a reason to shoot us, which is not really true. But it's like, dang, in their mind, it's like, yeah, let's do it. And it's just messed up because we really want to fight for our rights and we want more. We're going to keep fighting. But it's just like, no matter what we do, we always get attacked. You know what I'm saying? We always get harmed.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some good habits, man. Drop some wisdom on me, man. I need some wisdom, man. What's some good habits should I be adopting in 2021, man?
The best habits you can adopt is doing, man. I'm gonna just stick with that. The best game known to man is trying. And it's once you try, you're doing. You're gonna make it happen. One thing that I learned though in my life that has helped me now, and I'm only gonna get better if I want to be better, is constantly trying to do everything I possibly can within my concentration. So if I want to be a great speaker, if I want to be a great writer, I got to do everything that I possibly can think of, tone it, make it better, so I could be the best I can be, man. The best people in the world do everything they possibly can do within their field, within their concentration. So that's my goal. My habit is doing and trying, and that's it, man.
Yeah, what inspired you for the ebook? Like, you been thinking about that, or you just like, what made you,
I feel like I've been disrespecting my audience in a sense.
Really? Oh yeah? Talk to me about that.
I feel like my audience, they want so much content. Like, they want a book. They want more quotes. And I haven't been giving it to them as much in the last, I guess, a year or two. So I have the ability to write a book. I'm just never wrote it. Now, granted, nobody knows this, but I got a lot of stuff written. I got a bunch of poems. I got books that I started, never finished. So this time around, for my audience, I'm gonna give them what they want. Hopefully they support. $5 a book, but it's some good content, man. I mean, honestly,
when we expecting to hear, see it.
I'm editing right now. They're done though. The poems are done. I'm editing.
Oh, you doing the editing?
Yeah, I'm doing the editing. It's an ebook. So I'm going to get other people to read over it. But since it's an ebook, I'm going to do the editing. I'm going to have other people look over it. And then I'm going to drop the book. Once I see what my audience is saying, I'm going to really hone in. I mean, I don't really need to wait for the audience, but I'm going to hone in and really drop a full-fledged book.
Talk to me about, I see you switched up your logo. You got a brain on there. I'm about that thought life, Mine's is a thought bubble. I see you got the brain on there. Talk to me about that.
So basically the brain is just all about the lessons that you're taking in. And, there are two parts of the brain, the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere. And one side of the brain is about, being practical and analytical. And the other side is about being artistic and being creative. So that's what the brain is about, bringing all your ideas together. I bring a mixture of that, education and creativity. So that's what the brain is about.
The colors mean anything, or you just, because one time I saw when you had a pink John. I was like, okay.
Yeah, the colors don't mean anything, but if you bring the two L's mean something. Of course it means lessons learned, and that's where all the thinking happens, man. It's with them lessons that you learn.
How you come up with that name?
So I was sitting down. I was up Muncie, Indiana, and I was looking through social media. And I was like, dang, there's so much negativity on here, man.
Right.
How can I combat this negativity? What can I do to give life to people in this world? So I was like, I could teach them lessons that I learned, lessons that they can learn. So I was like, yo, lessons learned. And, we playing to go get a game, baby. You know what I'm saying? So my that's the game I'm playing, man. Teaching lessons, hoping people learn.
Yeah, man. I remember the first time I saw one of your videos. You was with or he was with you. I don't know. What's the boy name? Dante? Is his name?
Yeah, Dante. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was listening to him. I don't know if you went first or he went first. But I was like, man, I don't know. That boy lessons learned because the dude Dante, he said a couple things, but I was like, yo, I gotta hit this boy up. And I never forget when I hit you up, you was like, come through. Like we was right in the middle of the bottom.
Right in the middle.
You know what I mean? We was right in the middle of the bottom. But yeah, man, I've been finally, man, I use some of your stuff more than a few times in some of my videos.
I've seen it.
And man, I appreciate you doing what you're doing, man. And you know, habits is a lifestyle. You know, when we talk about habits, there's a lot of stuff I've said in there. Talk to me about what you got about muscle memory at the end.
So the muscle memory thing, I thought that was hot because it's true though. Like every time I think, like write something, like write in a book.
He said that.
Huh?
He said that.
Yeah, like you start a book and then you don't finish. You know what I'm saying? You start something and don't finish. That's also a part of your muscle membrane, and that's something that you learn. Like you might be working out, like he said in the video, for a week straight, and then because of your muscle membrane, you stop. So we got to break those bad habits and create good habits with our muscle membrane. That was fire. And I gotta look at the boy name. I forgot his name. It was fire.
He be with E and them. He be with ET. His name CJ.
Yeah, ET got a bunch of speakers under him, man.
Oh yeah, he got a whole yeah. I was watching something like one of his conferences, and he walk out. When he walk out, man, there'd be a ton of people behind him that shares the stage with him. He put a lot of black people on, and then when I look at his conferences, I see a lot of white people in them chairs. I be like, man, white people come out, boy. they
come out for any area.
Yeah, man. They come out, man.
They willing to spend that money with you, especially if you're doing something good, for yourself and for the community. Like that's with anybody though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So you experienced having a little platform, huh? You did. I remember one time you told me you had to speak for a school or something. You've been on that platform.
Man, I've done a lot of speaking engagements. I'm not going to a lot, but I've done a lot. Like I was master of ceremony at Daroff Elementary School. I spoke for Al Sharpton. Like I opened up for him before. The Henrietta Lacks family, I opened up for them before. Like I've done a few speaking engagements. I got paid. Like I spoke for Millersville University before. After I graduated, they brought me back in and they paid me really good money. I'm gonna, like, whatever people need me to do in regards to speaking, I'm gonna speak my truth. That's what I get paid for. I'm not gonna do this, no extra stuff. I'm only speaking my truth. And I think that's why a lot of people like my content, because I'm not here to BS you. You know what I'm saying? I'm here to spread love and encouragement.
What made you go for communications for a graduate program? Like, what made you go take the next step?
So the next step, I really wanted to learn how to write more, but I also wanted to go to school so I could be a consultant or a trainer, because I love speaking and I love teaching people how to do particular things, and they make solid money. However, that didn't happen. I'm a sixth grade math teacher, which I love doing. I'm still teaching. I'm still loving on people, but maybe that's just the path God wants me on right now. You never know. Maybe I'll consult.
No, I mean that's what Eric Thomas do. They teaching a Game Changers workshop, Extreme Execution, where they train people how to speak and write books and stuff like that. And like what they'll do is take your ebook and try to teach you how to create a master class and start funneling people your way and stuff like that. That's how they build,
That's where the money at though. Like creating curriculums too. Like for school, I know I could create a solid curriculum for self-improvement within students. So maybe that's an idea, that you could take as well. You know what I'm saying?
I never wrote a curriculum, but if I saw one, like if I saw like a pamphlet, like someone who do it and they do a master class and they teach and they have people in their private Facebook group and stuff like that, it's doable. People doing it. You get a couple people, and then like you give your book for free. There's methods for it. and you start phoning people in, people start paying, and next thing you know, you be on a Zoom like this, it'd be like 50 other little boxes looking at you talking, giving out points, and
Right.
yeah, they be doing it, man. Cats is out there doing it's like the master class is the new wave.
Masterclass, definitely, man. People are making money. Like we gotta find being speakers, we gotta find innovative ways to generate income and also help people. So
well, it is the new wave because we in a pandemic, you know.
It's the best thing to do,
You
right?
know, we in a pandemic. You know, you ain't, you know, and if you do, if you do, you know, get a speaking engagement, you're gonna be in that joker looking like this. They gonna be like, you gonna be like, yeah. You know what I mean? You gotta put your mask on. Oh man, but yeah, man, this was good, man. Yo, Chris, I really appreciate this, bro. I really appreciate this, man.
Thank you so much, brother. Oh man, you're so genuine. Thank you for your encouraging words.
Oh man,
I'm just blessed to be on here, and hopefully we made an impact tonight. You know, touch some people's lives.
yeah.
But
well, the main thing is we had a conversation. You know what I mean? We had a conversation, and I think that's what happens in life. We don't have the conversation. Habits. I'm in no way, shape, or form to say, dog, that's a bad habit or that's a good habit, because everybody got their own filter. There are things that I do that you can't do, things you do I can't do. Everybody marriage is not the same. There are certain habits that's allowed in their situation, and the main thing is just try not to be a stumbling block for your neighbor. You feel me?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, like I said, if I knew you got a gambling addiction, dog, I ain't taking you out to eat at the Tropicana. You know, it's you know what I mean? So, you know,
you're not gonna put them in a bad position.
No, I ain't, you know, now if I didn't know, and you know, if I didn't know, I didn't know. But yeah, man.
Nah,
that's yeah.
My best to abide by that. You know, we all fall. There's a lot of things I've done in my life a lot of people don't know about. And there's a lot of bad things I've done in my life people do know about. However, it's all about becoming better. You know what I'm saying? Not your past dictate how you move. Dictate.
And that's a lifestyle. Like, how old are you?
I'm 26.
So even when you're 56, you'll still be in the same position. Like, you're 56 and be like, man, there's some things I ain't proud about. Some things I ain't. You see what I mean? Always. Like people think, yeah, like you're always going to be evolving, man. I talk to people 56, 66, and they're like, you know, Satan don't stop. Life don't stop. Situations don't stop, you know, because
it's humility. You have to practice it, man. And I'll try to practice it every day. Humility and gratitude.
Right.
Being for what I have, being humble, not thinking that I know everything. So
yeah, man. But before we go, you anything else from habits? You good?
Anything else? Man, I mean, honestly, I love habits. I love the pictures, the visuals. Like I said, you already know what I said to you. Maybe you could do captions at the bottom.
Like what that do? Like, I thought if people read captions, that take away from the pictures. Like, well, I don't know. Like, so you saying people, their brain can look at the captions, read it, and the pictures at the same time? Because you know the caption ain't long. The caption maybe 7 seconds, maybe, you know.
Think of it though like this. You got a lot to say. You got a lot of deep content. And people probably think the same thing with me. Like, dang, he need to have captions because he got a lot of major points. But the way I write my stuff, I don't put too many points. Like, I put one point and I explain it. You know what I'm saying? You got so much in-depth content, so much stuff that it hits you hard that I think that you should have captions in it with your pictures. And plus, you know, I went to school for the whole PowerPoint presentation thing. So,
I knew it was coming from somewhere. I'm like, hold on.
You got captions may help. So yeah.
So caption the whole video or just certain parts, though the caption, you know.
I would caption the whole video with the content that you make, but you can just caption some parts, but you can caption your main points. So like bringing up storms.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. Like for me, my main point in expounding on habits. So it's not like I'm gonna say something like this is a main point. Everything I try to get it to flow from, you know, you take off,
right?
You take off, then you land. You know what I mean? So it's not like I got a good 27 seconds where I want people to just hear this part. That's for the people to hear.
Right.
Because you may magnify storms, somebody may magnify the whole process driven thing, you know?
So you're right. The only thing I would say is the only reason I tell you that is because you want to make sure, like, we know your focus is habits,
right?
But we also want to make sure, like, they understand those other points. Like, I don't know, like when I write a paper, when I write something, and most people do this, you write a thesis, right?
Right.
So you got your position, you got your position, you got your 3 points. You know what I mean? So if you going on, you want to make sure people highlight. I just feel like you should have highlighted them 3 major points.
Well, the thing is, if I add captions, how would that help them grasp it? If you're listening and reading at the same time, I think our brain uses the same thing. I think.
I'm gonna tell you a secret about me. A lot of people be like, "Dang, he's such a great speaker. He's a great listener too." I mean, I am a great listener. However, I internalize stuff that's written. So if you had a caption, right, and you put storms, you put habits, you put muscle membrane, whatever, I'm telling you right now, if that was in the caption, I'd be able to remember that video. And then when I talk to you again, we can have a full-fledged discussion. Now, if we just talking all day, I can remember some of the stuff you said, some of the stuff, but I can't visualize it like the words that pop up in my mind, if that makes sense, or pop up on that screen.
Yeah, I wonder how would it be if I did a video with no captions and it's just my voice and you're reading it. I wonder what that be.
That would be difficult. I wouldn't like, I want to hear but I mean, somebody's gonna like it. We're all different.
No, I'm gonna try it, because that's an app. That's an app that they'll take my words, they'll take my voice. And yeah, I believe that's an app.
Yeah, too. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'll do one with pictures and stuff. That joint was hot. Joel Embiid in there, the storm, the kid with the umbrella. I remember the visuals, right? If you had some words under there, I would have connected the words with the visuals too.
Yeah. You think it'll be overkill to do both?
Nope, it won't be overkill. It'll be
like do one without it and one with it. Like just back to back. Maybe throw one in the stories or one just post it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Watch. All right. If you try that video,
right?
Put the captions. Look at your comment section on Instagram or whatever, because sometimes people can't play your voice when they at work. I watch sometimes if I'm at work. This is kind of wrong, but if I'm at work, I'm on my phone, right, and I'm like, dang, I can't listen to this. I want to hear it. But if you got captions and words there on the low, I can read it and be like, yo, he's speaking some fire.
Okay.
And so.
Thanks for that game, because I ain't know people do that. They'll just watch it. They can't hear nothing. They'll just read. They'll just follow your literature.
Yeah.
I guess they'll just follow it, huh? And just be like, okay.
I would have way more interaction if I do that. So I need to get on that. I'm gonna get on that. So let me see. A lot of people joined today. What's going on? But yeah.
All right. Well, cool, man. Well, look, I appreciate you, brother. I love you, man. I hope the best for you. And we ain't going to be strangers, man. Let's do this again. We got to, I think a lot of times, like, we can't handle disconnect like we did before. I pulled up that video. That thing said May of 2019. Like, dang. I mean, but we was following each other, you know? Mm-hmm. We was following each other. We made comments and stuff like that. But I think what happens with social media, it has crippled a lot of us, because if I'm like, man, I wonder how Chris doing, I just go to your IG and be like, oh, Chris doing all right, man. Chris could be going through hell. And I don't even know, because I just looked through your last 3 posts and be like, oh, he good. And it's just like, you could have been in a car accident. It could be anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Picture could tell 1,000 words, but sometimes it doesn't tell the whole story. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it can tell the whole story, you know? I got your number. Let's not be strangers, man.
All right. Love you too, bro. Thank you for having me, man. I enjoyed it. Stay blessed.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. I'll holler at you, man.
All right. See you.